So today we are going to be talking about my shoe journey, my high heel journey, the works. Recording? The first pair of heels that were ever gifted to me were by my grandmother. She saw a pair of white, chunky Mary Janes, and she knew it was my time to learn how to walk like a lady. She said it was important that I start young. That way, when I got older, I wouldn't have any issues. So she taught me how to put my heel down before my toes and how to stabilize myself while walking on different terrains. She taught me how to put on my stockings and not gather a run in them, but that is still a lesson I'm struggling with to this day. My grandmother would walk with me up and down the sidewalk and teach me how to stoop down so my skirt wouldn't show my underparts, how to cross my legs while I was sitting, how to step up and down the stairs. My grandmother was a wonderful woman. I remember encountering these heels for the first time, and I was so excited. I just knew I was going to be walking around strutting my stuff, being a bad woman when I grew up, and I couldn't wait for my journey to begin. Any chance that I had, I would wear these heels, and when I finally grew out of them, I threw a little bit of a fit. But luckily, I had people in my life who loved me enough to gift me my second pair. The next pair of heels were are represented by these ones. The second pair of heels that I ever worn were gifted to me by my aunts. I remember because I was 8 years old wearing a size 8 in women's. And it was one of the first times that I'd ever learned that I had big feet for a woman. My aunt had just undergone foot surgery, and it was recommended to her by her doctor that she no longer wear heels. And my aunt, being as health conscious as she is, decided to take that recommendation and stop wearing them. So she packed up all of her strappy heels, all the ones that she couldn't give away to her friends and I am her family. All the ones that her friends didn't want. And she drove over to my house, trunk full of heels, and gifted them to me. She remembered that I loved them, and her daughters hadn't really gotten into them. So I was the next in line, and I was grateful. She taught me how to strap up those heels in many different ways. And she taught me to make sure that my heel was secure, my ankle was secure, so that I didn't have any issues with like slips and falls. I learned how to tie them properly and how to walk up and down the stairs in our new house that we had just gotten. This was one of the first times that I had worn stilettos, and it was one of the first times I ever heard the sound of a stiletto heel hitting the wooden floor. It was beautiful. Sadly, I was still growing, and my feet were too. So I didn't really live very long in these heels, but I did get to enjoy them for the time being. My next pair of heels were